Hello? I think everything looks okay. Yeah, I think we're doing all right on the technical side. Yeah, we should be good to go. Let me double check that I'm actually streaming here. Yes, I am streaming. That's good news. Welcome to the stream. If anyone's here, I think it said one person's here already. And it looks like it's Purple. Hello, Purple. How's it going? Thanks for joining us for the stream. Let me set a timer here. This is very important. I'll explain later, but for now I'm just going to set a timer on my phone for about half an hour. We'll get that going. Okay. So I'd like to talk to you today about how Inside Job is the best show of any kind. It's the best piece of entertainment. I don't know, calling it entertainment sort of deflates the importance that it has earned. It is the most important piece of art of any kind that I can even think of at this moment. Capucha Roja says, hey there, hello. Hello, Roja. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing this evening? Purple says, and goodbye, because I can't stay for long. Well, it's been fun. It's been fun having you here, Purple, for the last couple of minutes. It's been very good. I think we've made a lot of lifelong memories. I'm very excited about next time. We'll make even more memories. I'll make a scrapbook. It's going to be great. But like I was saying, Inside Job is the best art that's been made so far. So I'm gonna, just dish about it a little bit this evening. We're gonna be doing some other stuff too, but like just a heads up that Inside Job is just on my mind so much right now. It's occupying a lot of space. I have a lot of neurons. Just kind of chipping away at it, trying to unlock some of its mysteries, some of its secrets. See if we can get some real deep analysis going on that one. It's very important to work on that. Roja says, well, I just saw the title, and could I not watch this? Yeah, okay. I don't quite, if you're asking for permission to leave the stream, that's A-okay by me. And I also got some other stuff. Oh, I don't need Spotify for this. I can close Spotify. But yeah, so I was originally going to put on bunch of fun games, because I got I think I mentioned last week, I got this Xbox, and it's been pretty fun. Been having a good time with it. But I also got this capture card somewhat recently. And basically, the capture card is very bad. So unfortunately, I can't share with you any high-tech games at the moment. We're going to have some nice, relaxing fare on the stream this evening, but that's not what's going down, which is A-okay, but we got some classics here. We got some classics to play and enjoy. I've been playing a lot of pinball stuff lately, so we're getting into pinball. And I'll try to remember to change up the music, because I have a few new songs I downloaded that I don't think will get copyright claims. By the way, I don't know if anybody's interested in this or not, but I did end up getting, I think, 2 or 3 copyright claims on the Inside Job video that I think I posted yesterday. But for some reason, I didn't see at the time that it had those copyright claims. I assumed it would be good to go because I had just a bunch of stuff on the screen at any given time, and I thought it would cover enough of the actual footage that I would be okay, but that was not the case. Which is just fine because, as I said, it's really it's worth our time to talk about this show basically for the rest of our lives. That's just the fact of the matter. Like, we just have to grapple with how our destinies have been decided, essentially, by this incredible program. So I don't mind if, hey, if that video hits it big and we get some ad revenue on it. We won't. I don't get ad revenue. But if we do, it'll go right to, well, Netflix, I guess. I don't know if they would give it to the show specifically, but, I'm sure Alex Hirsch needs the money, right? He's probably hurting for cash, right? Rojas says, I'm glad someone goes into a deep dive of one of the most important shows of the decade, and the decade just started. Also, sorry, my keyboard is trash. Oh, no, it's okay. I'm using a very cheap keyboard right now, but it gets the job done. I have a nicer... This is not interesting keyboard talk. Yeah, who knows? I'm thinking maybe like a 4 or 5 hour sort of treatise on Inside Job would be worth the time. It would probably take about, I don't know, a year or two to make. But come on, like, we know the show's still going to be running by then. People are still going to be interested in it, so why not? Like how you'll still see like Star Wars sequel trilogy breakdowns and video essays even now, like years and years after the fact. People still care, when it's really big properties that people have formed some kind of connection with. It doesn't matter. Make your 5-hour video essay. People will still watch it. Millions of people will watch it and start discourse about these important media properties. Wow, that was a terrible... Sorry. I'm playing pinball badly because I'm like I said, I'm focused so much on this wonderful show. Oh, that's a good save. I have some other pinball tables lined up. I just gotta... We'll move on to those later on. But how's everybody doing? It's Thursday. Here in the States, it's a holiday, which is nice because I forgot that was happening. So it means I didn't really have to do regular work. I could just kind of hang out. It's also the official anniversary of the initial release of Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls game that everybody loves so much, and which I never actually played until about a week ago. But I was considering playing Skyrim. I thought it'd be kind of fun to play Skyrim on the stream too, especially since I don't know what I'm doing in that game. But like I said, not really a possibility right now, so I'm sure I'll end up doing it later on, maybe on a future stream if I can get the capture card stuff worked out. Oh, Ball 3. Wow, yeah. Hang on. Let's switch the Pokemon music. National Park? That's a good one. Yeah. There it is. Alright. Let's go. I did want to include the sound effects and the music that are native to this pinball game, but they're so loud. They're like, the audio just peaks immediately. So I was not, and I'm not, you can't adjust levels or anything on the music specifically, so it's a bit of an issue. But sorry, I'm getting off topic. How's everyone doing? If anyone's still here, I haven't checked the numbers, but how's everybody doing? Or did you have a nice day as well, even if you didn't have it off? What have you been getting into lately? Have you watched any stuff lately that I should check out also? Maybe? Yeah, what's going on? Did anybody end up seeing the Ron's Robot movie? The 21st Century Fox movie that they didn't make, that some British animation studio made. Did anyone watch that movie? Because last week we went through some of the reviews for that. And it seems it's getting some good reviews. It's getting some good reviews. I don't know if it's making money. I didn't check the box office for that movie. But it seems to be quite popular, and some people I actually kind of respect have said good things about it. Sorry, I meant that I kind of respect their opinions when it comes to movies, film criticism, that kind of thing. So maybe I might see that one. Like, obviously I need to rewatch Inside Job 2 or 3 more times to catch up on some of the nuances, and I think that's just going to be the beginning of my relationship with that show, but I'm so excited to get it started. So I'll try to make time for some other animated shows and movies. Ron's Gone Wrong is kind of up there for me now in terms of stuff that I would actually want to check out. And what else was I? Oh, I think I'm... What else do I have here? Let's go to Animal Crossing for a little while. Kind of chill out. There we go. Much better. The chiptune can be nice. You know, wow, it just sends it right down the middle. The chiptune stuff can be nice when you're really in the mood for it. But yeah, I get, I get some of the sounds are so tinny that it gets a little to be a bit much, you know, after a while. So gonna have to take a break from it. Wow, that was one of my worst pinball games. That's very bad. Rojas says, I'm good. I had a good day. I've been watching The Shivering Truth and Courage the Cowardly Dog lately. Pretty solid shows. Those are some really good picks. I mean, I just, what was that? I guess it was 2 weeks ago, or maybe more, when I did my video on The Shivering Truth. I thought that show was kind of excellent. Yeah, mostly for it being different and for it trying to strike into some new territory. And I trust the creatives on that team. So, yeah, I liked it quite a bit. Although, and I think I mentioned this in the video, it's not something that I could easily rewatch at all. It's something that I would really have to be in the right mood for, and that mood does not strike me all that often anymore for, like, really weird body horror kind of stuff. But especially, and I also think the first viewing would be the best one because so much of that show's attributes come from the sense of surprise, I suppose. Just that you have absolutely no idea what's coming up next, and it works incredibly well. Oh, sorry, it's just sending me more pinballs. Okay, I guess I have to. But I need to catch up on the chat. Maybe I should just lose this. Just, okay. Yep. Can I remap the buttons? That would be kind of nice, because I could play it with... Okay, fine. I'll leave it. Hugo says, good luck, Mr. Gorski. I think I understand that reference, so I'll just leave it. But how's it going, Hugo? Thanks for showing up at the stream. Doing okay today. Samuel 3D, welcome to the stream. Samuel 3D, thanks for stopping by. Says, IDK, if this is your thing, but has anyone ever watched Chewing Gum? I'm trying to decide if it's actually good or if I just have a confirmation bias. Oh, interesting. And I appreciate the apparent soul searching that you're doing there with this property. I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it. Let me take a look. British writer and actor plays 24-year-old Beyonce fanatic. It's based on Cole's lead character in the semi-autobiographical monologue, Chewing Gum Dreams, which was behind adolescent interests and whatnot. Huh. It's categorized as a sitcom, a sex comedy, and cringe comedy. Okay. No, I think I had maybe heard the title of this one before. I've not actually seen it, so if anyone else has, please chime in. I think it's over now, right? Like it just ran for a couple seasons. That was it, as far as I can tell. Very good ratings online. It's on HBO Max, so I could watch it. Okay. Well, thanks for bringing it up. Yeah. Since I haven't seen it at all, I am. I suppose I would, tend to agree with you. If you think it's good, there's got to be something going on. Taste is such a fickle thing, and it's also generally unimportant to, compare opinions and whatever. And you can just have your experience of the show, and that's it. But I get it. Sometimes you want that kind of external voice to be like, what do other people think about this? Clearly, a lot of other people seem to think it's a fantastic show. So I definitely don't think you're alone there. But yeah, I haven't checked it out. So I'll just have to add it I have a pretty big running list at this point of different shows and movies that people have recommended, and I haven't gotten to yet. Samuel 3D also follows up with, it's not what I would usually watch, but I can't get it out of my head. And the show is way over. Yeah, it's over a couple years ago. Interesting. It's not what I would usually watch, but that actually kind of sounds like a good description to me. Like it's a good summary of those types of encounters, right? Where you are kind of going outside your comfort zone in terms of entertainment a little bit. And well, I think that's a good thing in general, but especially when you leave the comfort zone and end up finding something soft and fluffy and great and sort of stimulating. I think that's kind of the best case scenario. So maybe this show's even kind of a gateway then for you to get into, like, I don't know if it'll be more cringe comedy kind of stuff, or just like, it seems like prestige TV for sure. It seems like it has quite a reputation and that it's trying to be pretty artsy. And the fact that it wound up on HBO Max is usually a good sign that it's quality in general. Not all the time, of course, but they do kind of have a reputation for that. And actually, that just came to mind. That was a terrible, terrible drop. That just came to mind earlier today for me, not with chewing gum, but with that show White Lotus, which I finally watched because multiple people have told me, like, hey, it's pretty good. You should check this out. Like, what do you think about this one? So I haven't finished that show yet either, White Lotus. But I like Mike White a lot, who's the creator, and I think he directed a lot of the episodes, and he wrote School of Rock. He was on Survivor one time, and kind of a weirdo. Writes weird movies that are usually also pretty accessible, though. Anyway, but I bring that up because, earlier today, I just, without remembering what it was from, I just suddenly remembered the tone of something that I had watched recently. Like, I had just had vague positive memories about something that I had watched, and I was like, what is that? Oh yeah, it was White Lotus. And I think that's another good sign, at least for me, when you have that moment of realization where you're like, oh, even when I'm not actively thinking about the show, it's bouncing around in my head, right? It's churning. I'm coming up with ideas about it, or they're just generally positive feelings about it. Sounds excellent to me. But chewing gum I've not seen. White Lotus I'm on the verge of finishing. I think I have 1 or 2 episodes left. But yeah, it's pretty rare that I watch new stuff. Shivering Truth was new for me. That was another HBO Max one. I was very happy to try that one out. That was a lot of fun. What else have I been watching lately? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Roja says, man, watching this pinball takes me back to school in my computer classroom. It's just missing the curse 3D word as a screensaver. The last kid left, and the creepy labyrinth screensaver. I'm really looking forward to Smiling Friends. Sorry, I'll look it up in a second because that's a recommendation, I think. But yes. Oh, and by the way, hold on. I have that one. Give me a second. Close that. And I get this out of the way. And I get that out of the way. And I go here. Yeah, that's the one. Come here. Okay, pinball. This was the one. This was the one that I always did. That's the one that's just sitting in my brain for all of time. So may as well pop into that one for a while. Did it start? Oh, no, it didn't start. Okay. Oh, yeah, hold on. Before Roja also said Smiling Friends, which I also think I've heard of but know nothing about. Which is kind of a trend for me. Oh, no, I have. Yeah, it's the... Yeah. Okay. Smiling Friends. Yeah, it's an Adult Swim thing. I think I saw some kind of preview clip. I saw the Wall Guy clip. Last year. But it looks okay. I mean, it does look very Adult Swim. Which is, good and bad depending on who you are. I do think there are times when sort of that stereotypical Adult Swim sort of tone and sense of humor can be kind of overbearing to me. But generally, it looks pretty good to me. So I assume, Roja, that you haven't watched it yet, or I don't know if it's actually been released in full yet, or if they've just been releasing those clips. But if you have seen it and have some thoughts on it, please feel free to share with the class. But yeah, actually, I have a teaching story that I could tell, but I don't know if anyone wants to hear the teaching story. Maybe I could save that for another time. Oh my goodness. But I would watch Smiling Friends if it because that's another Adult Swim thing. Is sometimes their animated shows will have 11-minute episodes, right? Kind of like a kid show. Or certain kid shows. I think the Cartoon Network still does that with a lot of the kid shows. Anyway, if it's that, like I could take that sense of humor in smaller bursts, I think. I think that would fit my fit my palate. I don't think that's a phrase. I would enjoy that more. Oh, how was I couldn't save that. Rojas says I'm looking forward because it was made from the guys from Newgrounds, Zach Hadel, and a bunch of others. Oh, interesting. Okay, I wasn't super involved in the Newgrounds scene when it was like really a thing. Like it was around when I was growing up, and I definitely saw certain things from Newgrounds, and it gave me a sense of their kind of general vibe, I suppose. But that makes it a little bit more interesting to me. Yeah, no, I'll check it out. I guess that would be another HBO Max one because it's Adult Swim, and that's not Viacom but Warner Media, right? Rojas says I think it's the first one. Okay, gotcha. I think. Oh, it's giving me the credits on Pinball. But yeah, it's Smiling Friends. Hold on, I actually need to write these down. I'm saying that I need to have this list, and I gotta. That was a good pen click in the microphone. That's on the left. That's on the right. It's an ASMR channel now. Okay. I got it. Don't you worry. I got a note that I'm not going to lose. And it says, I wrote chewing note. I don't have a camera up. I wrote chewing note on the note. I'll know what it means. It's fine. And Smiling Friends. I got that one right because I was really thinking about it. Cool. Samuel 3D says, tell us the teaching story. I need to get pumped up for teaching. Oh no. It's kind of a negative story. It's kind of an embarrassing story, so I don't know whether it'll get you pumped up for teaching. So we'll see. Maybe. I can still tell it anyway, but I assume that means you're starting a teaching career, or you're starting a one-off thing, doing some teaching. Can you tell us more about it? Sorry, I don't want to ask for personal information or anything on here, but if you're comfortable elaborating on that, let me know. I guess I only know a couple of teachers at this point. I kind of assumed based on my major in college that I would end up knowing just a ton of teachers, and they'd even do a bunch of teaching myself at some point. But that's certainly not how things have shook out so far. That was a good save. Oh, that was bad. Anyway, cool. I already got 2 suggestions, and we're barely into the stream already. Oh, yes, that was bad. That was a bad job of Pinball. Also, it doesn't save the scores when you close it and start it up again, so that's why I'm not putting any names. Also, it's just me on the computer, so it wouldn't be especially interesting to, compete against my own high scores. It's fine. Personal best is fine. Oh, boom. There we go. I think I got the ramp aiming down on the right flipper. The left flipper, I have a trickier time. I wasn't looking, darn it. Oh. Whoa. Oh. Time for a break. Samuel 3D says, I'm sure they're probably nice and stuff. Yeah, no. It's a very positive thing. Teaching such a positive. You can do so many great things as a teacher, and I guess they're called educators now. But either way, come see, come saw. But yeah, I'll try to. I can condense and tell my teaching story, I suppose. While also playing pinball because I just want to play pinball at this point. Okay, I'll tell the story. Right. Okay, gotta stay hydrated. Okay, so. So, yeah, I had an okay time in college. It was very expensive, of course, but I enjoyed being there. And yeah, I made friends with a couple of my professors, basically just 2 or 3 professors who I had like probably for a couple classes each over my tenure there. And one of these teachers I kind of kept in touch. Well, a couple of them I've kept in touch with long after graduation. But this one guy, it turns out that he was doing a semester. He was going to be teaching for a semester out in LA. This was pretty soon after I had moved to LA. And yeah, he got in touch. He just put out an email and said, hey, I'll be in town for like 3-4 months. So if you want to say hi or something, let me know, get a coffee or something like that. Just chat. That's what you do with professors, right? You can just kind of talk for a very long time because they tend to be interested in the same things and they tend to be pretty smart and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I took him up on it and hung out with the guy. Very nice guy, very interesting guy. It's a very unique way of thinking about things and responding to different things. So it's going great. Oh, sorry, I think I'm messing up on the falling behind on the chat too, so I might have to pause. Roja says, I really don't know many cartoons I'm actually excited about. Watch the ball. I messed that up. Here, I'll just let it go. Okay. I'm actually excited, but I don't know if I'm alone in this, but there hasn't been a cartoon show that stands out for being good, except for Inside Job, of course. Well, first of all, let me check the timer. Yes, I definitely agree that Inside Job is the most important piece of art we've received in human memory and during the human experience. So putting that aside, yeah, I guess I kind of agree. I'm trying to think of like new programs or relatively new animated stuff that really kind of knocked it out of the park for me. I guess Shivering Truth, I mean, that's not super current since I think I got canceled a couple years ago and stuff. But still, watching that for the first time was very exciting to me. I really enjoyed it. Although, like I said, it's not something that I can rewatch constantly, so that's kind of a different category. But what else? Steven Universe Future was fine. It was okay. It's not really new, I guess, since it's a spinoff. What else? I don't follow South Park anymore, unfortunately. I didn't like those new Fox animation domination shows. I made a whole video about that. What else have we gotten, people? Oh, Maya and the 3 was pretty good. I haven't finished it yet, actually, but I like it. I mean, even just for the visuals, I think it's pretty neat. I can't say I was super hyped about it because I didn't even know about it until a few days before release. Someone mentioned it here. I think Hugo mentioned it. But in general, yeah, I think I agree with you, Roja. It feels like a little bit of a drought, just in terms of my taste, as opposed to, there's tons of stuff being released. It's just a lot of it isn't quite my style. That's all. But except for Inside Job, which I'll love until I die, or maybe after I die, if it turns out that there's like an afterlife situation, then I will continue loving the show. Sorry if my mouse was in the way, by the way. Oh yeah, teacher story. Sorry. It's gonna take a while. Anyway, so yeah, friends with this professor, met up with him here in LA when he was out here teaching temporarily. And great, had some nice conversations with him, talked about some movies and stuff and books and career and trying to do what you want and all this different kind of things. And it was great. And anyway, he mentioned that in one of his classes, I forget what the name of the class was, so I don't know what the focus was exactly. But he told me that they were reading High Fidelity, the Nick Hornby novel, and that once they were finished reading it, they would then watch the movie. which is directed by Stephen Frears, I want to say. Someone can check me on that one, but I think it's Stephen Frears, British guy. Anyway, I really like High Fidelity, the film adaptation. I think it's pretty good. There are some problems with it, and there are certainly elements of it that feel very dated. But for the most part, it's a good one. I like to show it to people. It has a pretty cool soundtrack for the time, and yeah, it's just neat. So I hadn't read the book, but I was like, oh, hey, I'd love to talk about that movie with you guys, or just in general. Like, it would be cool to talk about that movie in a scholastic setting, because I'm really interested in it, and it sort of meshed with some of the stuff that I've been thinking about recently, where at the time I was very interested by the idea of, like, it seems to be an increasing, like, sort of generational gradient. Oh, there goes my timer. Stop it, I'm doing pinball. Okay. It seems to be a thing, younger and younger generations, as things progress, we seem to be much more likely to very, very closely associate media with our personal identities. Do you know what I mean? Like, people have always really liked books and music and movies and plays or other pieces of art as long as they've been around. But I think certainly within the last 20 years especially, people have really, really started to make these pieces of media that they really like, not physically, but part of who they are. They identify completely with these properties. This is where we get these really passionate fandoms, right? People filling out wikis and things, and, like, of course, people, when they get into arguments, because if they feel like, if they feel that someone's insult of a show that they're really into and that they consider to be a part of them, then they're going to lash out, right? Because they're going to feel like they are personally being attacked. And we see this in internet conversations all the time. I'm also not saying that I don't do this. I certainly have in the past, and a lot more often when I was younger. Anyway, I just think it's a somewhat new thing. I don't think some older folks were really doing that so much, especially not after they were in their 20s and 30s and stuff. And I thought High Fidelity was a great jumping off point to talk about that idea, because that's a huge part of that story, is just, like, showing the lives of people who 100% do that, who, like, their musical taste is who they are. Like, they have their own distinct personalities and everything, but they heavily identify with the stuff that they love, with the products that they love and the art that they love. Kind of one and the same in that case. Anyway, long story short, we're going to put another pin in the story, but that's where we're at. I really like High Fidelity, and I was like, you know what? That would be kind of fun to talk to everybody about High Fidelity. Samuel with 3D says, my end of 3 was the shit. I thought I would need to pretend to like it, but I actually liked it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you thought you would need to pretend to like it. You don't need to pretend to like anything. Just don't worry about it. There are very few situations where that's actually the case. Just share what you really feel with people, I guess. It sounded like a fortune cookie. Okay. Sorry, I'll try to move the story along. So there's all this conceptual stuff that I wanted to get into, and I wanted to relate it all to High Fidelity, specifically the movie, because, again, I hadn't read the book before. And of course, I didn't have the channel at the time, so, like, nowadays, if I really wanted to do that and I was really excited about that idea, I would probably just make a video, and it would get 12 views, and then I would move on with my life. But I would feel like I communicated that idea that I had been thinking about for a long time. So I couldn't do that at the time. I didn't even consider putting stuff on the internet. It didn't seem like a good idea to me. So I told the teacher all this stuff, my professor, the former professor, all this stuff. And he just said, oh, hey, do you want to, like, you can just come by. Like, the day we're going to do our discussion, we have these big, long classes, because it was, like, once a week. So it was, like, a 4-hour class. So he's like, if you want to just, like, lead a discussion for half of the class, go for it. Like, I can sign you into the building and everything, and you can just kind of hang out, talk to us, and then split. Like, it's no big deal. And that sounded really cool. And like I said earlier, I had always kind of had an expectation that I would fall into some kind of teaching at some point, whether it was like a university thing or even just like a substitute teacher thing, which some of my friends do, and it's apparently not so bad, other than some of the obvious drawbacks. But I thought it would be good practice, basically. I thought it would be neat. It would be a cool experience. It'd just be a lot of fun. And that because I remembered all these great discussion-based classes that I had in college myself. And like when people were really into the subject matter and they were really involved, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of enthusiasm to the conversation. People were really, just really involved, very excited to argue about things, but generally in a very positive and respectful way. So that was my image of what this not teaching exactly, because I wasn't teaching a lesson, but you know what I mean. A teaching position experience. That's the image I had in my head. Now, sorry, I'll really move through this. At the time, I was working at this place where my shift started at 5 a.m. I worked 5 a.m. to roughly 1 p.m., and that was my work day, 5 days a week, and really changed my sleep schedule and my daily schedule in general. It was the whole thing. But the timing worked out so that I was going to come to this class like immediately after work. So I finished my shift at 1 p.m. I just immediately drove over to the campus and got ready, got signed in and everything, and just hopped into this class. And I was like, okay, here I am. Let's do this. I'm so excited. Let's talk about high fidelity. And I got in there, and I stand up. I had like a couple pages of notes just scribbled on like a legal pad, and I thought that would be fine. Like I didn't have a lesson plan. I'm not teaching something. I'm just bringing up the topic, and then people will fill in. People will share their opinions. It'll be great. But what I realized extremely quickly is that at least half this class did not care about the class. Like clearly they were not into it. Maybe they were just taking it as some kind of gen ed. This was not their favorite class. And despite the reasons, whatever those reasons were, that was not part of my teaching fantasy, right? I was not expecting like, oh yeah, sometimes people just don't care. Sometimes people just don't pay attention at all. They don't want to participate, all that kind of stuff. I'd been in those kinds of classes, but for some reason I didn't bring that into this experience. I didn't think it would be an issue. So immediately I found myself struggling to say anything of interest to the students. I was just kind of rambling and like, okay, I'm ready for someone to jump in here, and just nothing, just like terrible dead silence, like you're just failing, just doing a horrible comedy set or something. Like no one cares. People just want you to leave. At least that was the vibe. I'm probably, probably exaggerated that feeling in my mind, especially in memory form. But long story short, there were like 2 students who actually participated and who actually wanted to contribute to the discussion. And one of them, turns out, hates High Fidelity, just hates the book, hates the movie, thinks it's just like the worst example of like this terrible white bread, straight white guy protagonist who doesn't actually do anything special. And he's just kind of pissy and rude and just kind of an asshole. And for those reasons, this person was just like, no, I'm just not into it. I'm going to tell you why it's awful, and also why some of the stuff you're talking about is just completely wrong. And that was one of the people who I was talking to the most during that discussion. And for some reason, I thought it would be a good idea to go off the rails sometimes and like go into other tangents and other topics that were somewhat related to the movie. That was a bad idea, as it turns out, because some of the topics went into like pseudo political territory, not super political, and it's not that I would have run into disagreements there with anybody, but as some stranger with like no professional credits whatsoever, I'm not surprised that the students were just like, who's this guy? Like, why are we wasting our time with this? And that was it. It ended. No one said anything. No one approached me. Nothing. Just immediately everybody was just like relieved to be moving on to the next thing. And so that was that. That was my big bit of teaching practice, almost TA kind of practice. Not the best one. It haunts me even now. They were not into me, and some people just didn't care in general. So it was not a lot of fun, but that was my teaching thing. I'm sure there are many, who knows, different class, different subject matter. If I prepared more, Who knows? Could have been very different. I'm not completely turned off from the idea of teaching and stuff like that, but yeah, it was a lot. Okay, now I can catch up on other things. Roja says, I feel that, I read that one. Okay. I feel that story. When I was a teacher, I really hated how my class was dead silent, even though I really tried to make my class interesting so they'd be interested for the subject. There you go. Look at this. Is everybody here a teacher today? This is great. Yeah, and that's the thing is like I've talked to other people who do teach and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, well yeah, of course. They're just like, why wouldn't you expect that? Of course, like you really can't rely on the students to be super engaged all the time and to care about what's going on, especially if it's like, yeah, not in their specialization. If it's like just a high school class or just something that they don't care about, why would they be enthusiastic? Anyway, so that's that. And Samuel 3D is saying true. I think to Roja's comment there about teaching, hollow preaching is the full reason that no one will remember Chicago Party Ant. Oh wait, I missed. I'm sorry. I think that was referring to Roja's other comment, which I did skip. Which is it me or a lot of animated shows that are supposed to be deep are very condescending to its audience? I know they are children's shows, but I feel like I'd pick up on that if I was a kid. Interesting comment. Please feel free to share like any shows that you feel like that have given you that thought. I would be very interested to hear which ones, because I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't think that Steven Universe really talked down to the audience. Adventure Time seemed pretty level, like they kind of trusted people to catch on to stuff, I suppose. But beyond that, newer stuff I don't know anything about. So please let me know if there's specific shows where it feels like that applies. And I think that would give me a good basis for that, because I don't disagree, but I'm interested to hear, specific shows that have kind of spurred that idea. Samuel 3D says, no, you wanted Dead Poet Society, but you got the first half of Freedom Writer, something like that, or even like very early Dead Poet Society when they're not interested at all. Whatever, I wanted to share the passion, and I wasn't very good at that, and some people didn't care, so it's totally fine in the end, but I do think it was kind of funny in retrospect. But yeah, that's that. Looks like we got some spam. Hold on. I got it. I'm doing it. Don't worry. I get to practice my skills. Unless that's someone who's very genuinely trying to share some killer webcam girls with us. Someone was just super passionate, and they've just crafted their entire profile around it. But you know what? And this is kind of weird. Sorry, Hugo. I know Hugo has a bunch of comments, and I'll get to those real soon. But I think it's kind of funny that, like, in a way, because this is our first, like, very spammy, trash comments from bots, right? And in a way, that's kind of, like, exciting for the channel. Because we never put up impressive numbers, so like what's the point of bots trying to spam people? But the fact that we got any is kind of interesting. Oh my gosh, these report options are a little intense. What was I saying? Yeah, it's almost like a good sign in a weird way. That's very funny to me. Okay, let me get caught up. Hugo says, there's this one time in school the professor did a pop quiz that he said he would not take a test if it's a minute late. Oh, he wouldn't accept one if it was a minute late. Okay, so I started to work on the test and didn't notice I was the last person. Oh no, it was already 2 minutes past the hour, so I went out to the desk where there was a pile of other tests. And the professor said he wouldn't take the test, your test, I assume. So I said to him, do you know who I am? He looked up at me. He looked me up and down and said, no, should I? I said no, and put my paper right in the pile and left the room. Wow, that sounds like a comedy bit almost, or like, a nice capper to that too. I know this is a real story, but like if it was written, a nice capper there would be like, do you know who I am? And then if you can just point down and be like, well, okay, sorry, I forgot to write my name on the test. just blank. That's pretty funny, though. Thanks for sharing that with us, Hugo. Samuel 3 says, look at you now, though. You're having a conversation about media with 3 people. I know, right? It's really, 3 people and a bot. I think the bot counts for at least like a half, maybe? Something like that. We'll have to get the numbers from the census. But it's true. It's true. I did find a way to ramble about different types of media to strangers. Stranging is one way. Stranging? Teaching is one way to do that. But YouTube is another very viable option, especially if you want to make less money than a teacher does. YouTube is like the best possible option for you. Roja says, hey man, I wish I could stay and chat. This is really chill. I have to go to sleep. Appreciate the chat and the stream. Keep my sub, man. Oh, you earned mine and everyone. Wow, that's a very nice comment, Roja. Thank you for saying that. And thanks for joining us. Yeah, I know tons of people are in different time zones and stuff and have different schedules, so it's totally fine for people to just split. This is one of the most casual streams you'll find on YouTube and probably Twitch as well. Although I don't watch a lot of Twitch anymore, so I don't exactly know what that landscape is like anymore. But thank you again, Roja. That was very, very kind of you to say. And I hope that I can keep putting out stuff that people kind of like in the future. Samuel 3D says, 3 people and a bot is my new sitcom. No. I trademarked that, I don't know, 5 minutes ago before I said it. No, if you want like associate producer credit, we could do that. But yeah, I've been talking to a guy at, I tried to think of a funny channel, like a joke channel. What's like, what was it, Thrash? No, there's some goofy, Spike. Does Spike TV still exist? I've been talking to a guy at Spike TV, which is definitely still real, and he's not lying to me with his business card, about potential, optioning some of my ideas that I've had and stuff that I've talked about on the channel. So it's still in the works, so I can't make any hard promises here. The ink isn't dry, so to speak. So, yeah, it's not guaranteed. But yeah, I think I could swing 5 to 6 associate producer credits. So just let me know. I can put you in touch with some folks if you don't already have representation. But it's going to be good. I'm very excited about this show. I think especially the bot role, the casting of the bot, is extremely important to us right now. That might make or break the project. Unfortunately and fortunately, because if we nail that casting, it's no contest. We got Emmys coming in, we're making real Hollywood producer money. We'll get greenlit at Netflix within the minute of winning an Emmy. That's just how it happens. A pigeon comes down with a red velvet envelope. It doesn't even say Netflix, but based on the color, you just know. And it says, you've got a show. And it just has there's a blank line. It says, write name of show here and describe the show in 2 sentences or less. And that's how it works. They pay you $2 a week to make your show, and it's a very exciting time. Anyway, that's a couple months down the road, so I don't want to anticipate too much. But yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty successful. Wow, that bit was long. That was a long bit. The next show that I have actually sold that was a long bit. And it's actually a sort of a woodworking thing. But I can't share any other details right now. So no, I'll keep my lips zipped on that one. I'm doing very bad at pinball. I might have to switch up the pinball soon. Hugo says the Amazon bit on the last video was a bit funny. When the video started, I was, what the fuck? I'm glad it was a bit funny. I think that's the most I can achieve right now, because I'm not, I don't know. I'm maybe moderately funny talking to people, and doing things and being a person, but in writing, or yeah, anything written. I'm really not that funny, so it's kind of new for me to try to do something that's just like, yeah, I want people to think this is funny. And it certainly had mixed success in the past. But I had fun with that. That was just like that whole video was within a day, so it was done within a couple hours. So most of it was just improvised. I was just like, I don't know, maybe some of this will be funny. So I'm glad to hear that it was a little bit funny. And yeah, I don't think Amazon does sponsorships, but who knows? I mean, hey, go ahead and hit me up. You know, we got bots coming to the stream. Clearly, we're getting lots of views. It's time. It's time to capitalize on that, cash in, get the retirement fund going, because I'm falling a little bit behind on that one. Sorry, that's just a gag. I'm very happy to be working with Amazon, and so far it's been a very fruitful relationship, I'll say. Fruitful, meaning financially successful. So I'll probably just keep it going as long as I possibly can, which is really just a rule of thumb for YouTube sponsorships. I love this table. I know it's so much better than the other tables. So if you don't know, yeah, this Space Cadet, which came free with Windows for, what was it, XP? It wasn't Windows 98, right? I don't think it was 90. I think it was XP, but I don't actually remember. And growing up, I always thought it was a standalone game, and it was just free. Maybe it was made by Microsoft, right? But no, this was a demo for the full game called Full Tilt Pinball. So there were 2 other tables. I think it was just 2, and I just got those recently because the game's not sold anymore, so you can find files. And the other tables are pretty cool too. I was playing Skullduggery earlier, and then there's also like a dragon medieval fantasy themed one. It's pretty fun, but this table, the Space Cadet table, is just like, it's all muscle memory, even though, like, you know, you're still watching for the ball and stuff, but like, I know every single little mission and things, and I got some of the angles down, and the color changing stuff is fun, and yeah, just the layout is just completely burned into my brain. And it'll probably stay there forever. I don't know if I have any hereditary degenerative brain diseases coming up my way. I should probably ask about that at some point, like if, you know, dementia is going to happen, because I feel like I'd want to know about that beforehand, you know? Although you would forget about it eventually. Sorry, I'm not trying to make jokes about dementia. I mean, I guess I am, but it's not actually funny. It's actually very sad. This is a great pinball table. That's what I was saying. What else we got here? Boo. I was hoping I would just miss that one. Okay. I like those. What are those like weird white bumpers? They don't look physical. There's one here just above that, the purple ramp. There's one, and then there's one just to the left of the like tunnel thing with the flap. I don't know if they're supposed to be physical things or like electricity or something, because it's like sci-fi. That thing right there. Oh, yeah, those. They're very satisfying, but I have no idea what they're supposed to be. Okay, fine. Oh, is it launching or okay? Let's see. Samuel says Dreamcasting. Bot is Microsoft Paperclip, and then the 3 people is Chris Pratt. There you go. Wow, that was actually pretty good. That was pretty funny. Samuel 3D. Yeah, because I guess I don't think Clippit. Everyone calls him Clippy, but his actual name is Clippit. I don't think they did text-to-speech, or maybe they did in one of the later ones, because there were all those other Office assistants too, remember? There was the puppy dog, who I think was in Windows Me. There was like a Rubik's Cube or something like that, or like the universe, and it was just like a glowing ball of light. There's that one. This was all computer stuff too. Just go into Word and look at the different assistants. That's the fun we can think of right now. And of course, Oregon Trail was there too on the computers. Hugo says, on top of that, why would they sponsor a Netflix show if they're Amazon Video? Oh no, they don't. Amazon's super cool about that stuff. Like, They know they're going to come out on top. You know, they throw parties for the other streaming services. Like they're just super nice about everything. They do not mind throwing some money around if it means people are going to have a good time. So they're totally into it. They're like, oh yeah, that's everyone likes that show. Cool, we want to put our name on it. You know, because then maybe some people will think that Amazon was involved in some way. And then there you go, free marketing. You can just kind of take credit for something you had nothing to do with. Perfect. That's the kind of just next level marketing and business strategy that you'll get from a company like Amazon. And I think we all expect as much at this point from them. Oh, look, that was my high score by a long shot. A very long shot. Samuel 3D says Alzheimer's Club. I wonder if that's real. I mean, I guess they wouldn't call it a club. I think club usually implies like, you know, fun times. I'm sure there are support groups, as there should be. But they probably don't have jackets. Which is a letdown, because wouldn't that be a good reminder? That's not bad. I could take that on the road. The jackets are just a practical thing for the club. You know, it serves a lot of functions. Also, other people can see it because other people are reading the back of these. I'm picturing like Leatherman jackets, and then maybe they have a funny message on the back, like if I don't know where I am, please tell me. It's not very funny. I never had a Letterman jacket, but I always did want to be part of a club that had jackets. That was always the big appeal. You know what I mean? Like I wanted artifacts of my social involvement. The idea seemed very satisfying at the time. Like, look, I got proof. I'm doing this thing. I have activities that I do after school. I'm not just going to school and going to sleep and going back to school. I have a life. I have a jacket. Immediately makes you a more serious person. Oh, there we go. Oh, tricky. Very tricky. I messed that up terribly. And I should change up the music now too, because this has been going for a while. What's this one? Oh, by the way, I just got a copy of Animal Crossing New Leaf. I've had New Horizons since launch day, and I like it fine. I haven't done the update stuff, but I never played New Leaf. I never had a 3DS or anything. So about a week ago, I got a copy of New Leaf, and I love it. There's just something about the beginnings of those games that are so much fun. They're so engrossing, and you're just in the loop right away. You're like, I'm gonna make money, and I'm gonna have the biggest house around, and it's gonna be the best. I'm gonna get all this cool furniture and stuff. Anyway, so that's been taking up some of my time lately. Been doing that. I've been playing Horizon 5 on the Xbox, which is pretty good. It's more Horizon, but it's pretty good, and I like racing games because I grew up with racing games, and yeah, it's pretty good. Doing that a lot. Like I said, I played Skyrim for the first time a couple days ago. Gotta get back in there, and yeah, just messing around with a lot of stuff lately. It's been pretty good. I've had enough free time for it, so that's kind of nice. I do need to get working on the next video, though. I have another video coming pretty soon, but I think someone else is involved, so I need to get their part of it, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But yes. Oh, I can't stop now. Ooh, oh, I love it when you just multiple in a row. Oh, that was not my... Oh, it's the bumpers one. I can do this. Hit the bumpers. Couple more. Oh, I panicked. That was awful. Hugo says, the show Inside Job reminded me a lot of Futurama. Clark Duke as Brett Hand sounds and looks a lot like Philip Fry, and the fact that John DiMaggio is in both. Yeah, I did recognize John DiMaggio's voice. He's just, I mean, he's just in everything, right? I was even playing some Gears of War recently because I've never tried it before. And of course, he's the lead in that one, right? It's like, I mean, he does have a great range of voices that he can do, but you do recognize it. If you watch a lot of animated stuff, you recognize it basically right away. So it can get a little bit old sometimes. Yeah. That's that. But yeah, Futurama, and this is kind of a funny thing. This is something I agree with. It wasn't my idea, but I think there's some comedian, I forget which one. There's a stand-up comedian guy who always said, like, he defines certain jokes as Futurama jokes, and basically a Futurama joke is something that you know is funny, like on the intellectual level, like, oh, I understand the joke, I understand the punchline, yes, that is funny, but you don't actually laugh. Do you know what I mean? I've definitely had that experience where, oh, okay, this is a funny line. This is a funny joke. I'm not laughing. Like, I don't necessarily find it funny personally, but I get it. And in that way, I think the Futurama comparison to Inside Job is kind of apt as well. Samuel 3D says, for the jacket, we're talking, yes, like, hey, I'm with Alzheimer's, I'm with stupid, but it's, hey, I'm with Alzheimer's, and then every time you see someone standing next to you, you're like, oh, no, it's me. Yeah, so I think the arrow, I guess the arrow points up, because it's a jacket, right? So you point at the head. I'm really not trying to make light of degenerative conditions. Are they conditions or diseases? I guess they are diseases, aren't they? I keep hearing that there's more funding going to, like, Alzheimer's research, and I don't know if dementia gets as much funding, but hopefully we get, I don't know. I don't even know what the treatment options are. Are there any treatment options for that stuff? We don't need to think about that right now. No, fun stuff. Samuel 3D. That wasn't even funny. I'm sorry I typed it. It was actually pretty funny. But for the sake of the stream, I'm now pivoting away from the Alzheimer's Club jacket ID, even though I think it's actually a pretty good idea. Samuel also says, was anyone else truly ashamed at how many people on Inside Job were full-on cartoon hot? Yeah, I mean, the art direction of that show, I feel like I can't talk about it too much. I don't want to ruin the joke. I don't want to ruin the gag, this very valuable gag I've got going. So I'll leave it there. But I do think you're right. I definitely think they're trying to do that. They definitely want people to connect, quote unquote, with the characters in that way, I feel. Could be totally unintentional. I don't know. I don't work there. I don't work in animation. I can't speak to it, but I did have that suspicion when I was watching it. I had to answer a text message. What time is it? Oh, it's past 7. Okay. Haven't been on too long. I don't know, another half hour to an hour or something like that. I'll probably do. But hang on. What's that? What is this? Oh. You know what that music means. It's news. News time. We have news. Let's listen to the news. Let me share with you the news that's been going on in gaming news. So I pre-ordered a Steam Deck. I reserved my place in line for the Steam Deck, like, I think it was the second day of pre-orders. So I'm definitely not in the earliest group that's going to end up getting a Steam Deck. But I thought it was a neat idea. I just wanted one around, even if it fails horribly. I want it as a relic. But I don't know why I went back to the Pokemon. Just leave the news music in the background. Okay. So, anyway, long story short, I got an email the other day, I think it was yesterday, that says, hey, Steam Deck is delayed. Everybody's delayed by 2 months. Just so you know, we had a problem with supply, which is predictable, of course, at this point, and understandable for sure. They said, hey, sorry, we're not going to get that to you. And we thought we were, so, and I was like, oh, that's fine, because I still have to come up with the money to actually pay for it when it's time for my order to go through. So anyway, that was our news break. Let's go back to some chiptune, huh? Nah, back to Animal Crossing. Where is it? Is it playing? Oh, it's very quiet. Meanwhile, Hugo says John DiMaggio was in Ralph Breaks the Internet, and his voice was hard to tell. Also, the show Kaijudo. I have not heard of that one. Okay, yeah, he was in. He was also obviously in Adventure Time, right? It was Jake, and probably some ancillary characters. And did he ever? I don't think he ever showed up in BoJack, as far as I remember. I'd have to check on that, but I don't think he did. But he's so much stuff. He's just been in so much stuff. Yeah, it's been a lot. And I don't dislike him. I don't think he does bad work at all. I think he's very skilled and knows what he's doing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, sometimes with voice acting, when I really recognize a voice right away and it's just all over the place, it does kind of catch me off guard sometimes. But what else we got here? Let's see. What's this in my... John DiMaggio was in Ralph Breaks the Internet? Oh, I guess so. Yeah, Hugo's the facts masters. It's hard to say, but he's got all the facts. So, it's probably true. But yeah, I'd have to go back because I only watched that one like once. I don't like that movie that much. The first one was pretty good. Let me check my notes here. I think I had something else. Oh, what's this? Oh my goodness. Oh, we have breaking news. We have breaking news, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this update. I'm very quickly going to get a visual together. I need to share this crucial news with you. I received an email just yesterday, I think it was yesterday. And I received this email, and the email said, your pre-order of the Playdate handheld gaming device is delayed. They just said, no. You thought late 21 you're going to get this cool new handheld? Sorry, champ. We're not going to do that. So that's been a big deal for me. I'll definitely stay on this story as it develops. We need to get all the details sorted out. It's a very challenging time for all of us, and for some reason my computer isn't giving me the Playdate image I just downloaded, so we don't have any visuals there. But that's okay. And I think that's about it for our news breaks. There we go. Football Lover 45 says hello. I think that's a reference to the Twin Peaks reboot, right? When Mr. Jackpot says hello. Remember? Can I play that? I bet I could find it. Here, let me find hello. We won't get a copyright claim for that, right? Hello, 10 minutes. Perfect. Here we go. Come on. Why wouldn't they just start the video at the part where it goes? Football Over 45 says, we love Hugo's brain. Okay, very personal. There it is. Have you guys seen this, Twin Peaks? Sorry for the tangent. Samuel 3D says, oh, if anyone wants an animated short, watch Sprite Fright. I saw it today. I've seen that one pop up because I think it was a Blender project, right? I don't know if it was an open Blender project or what, but I did see that come up. And it looked pretty neat. The character designs were very cool. So yeah, but I'm glad to get the recommendation. I didn't know if it was any good or not, so I didn't check it out. We watched a lot of shorts the other week on the stream. That was pretty fun. Sort of our screening room day. Hugo says that John DiMaggio was Arthur, the pop-up blocker. Oh, okay. I vaguely remember that character and scenario in the movie. Hugo says, I think he had like 2 lines in the movie. Oh, okay. So it's just, it's a paycheck, right? They're like, we need somebody good. We're Disney. We have all the money in the world. Just go to town, hire anybody you want. So there you go. John DiMaggio gets, I don't know, $50,000 for saying 2 lines. Samuel 3D says, neato. Maybe to some of the news. Sorry I didn't have images of either the Steam Deck or the Playdate, but they're both handheld gaming devices that I pre-ordered both of them, and I'm very excited about both of them, and both of them are delayed. Playdate had a big, giant supply issue with their batteries. They had some fully made, some Playdate devices fully made, and it turns out that the batteries just didn't charge and didn't hold a charge for any amount of time. So they were like, we got to start over. It's going to cost a whole bunch of money, and I'm sure it did cost a whole bunch of money, but that just means they're delaying all their shipments of that stuff. But yeah, I've been pretty excited about the Playdate. I kind of made a whole video about it, and about their marketing, but that was bad. But yeah, so now I have to wait till like January or February. But yeah, I want to play the Playdate games. I want to try to make stuff for it through their browser software development tool thing. So we'll see. But yeah, we gotta wait longer for everything now because the supply chain stuff is maybe forever. So we all just get used to it, We're gonna acclimate. I've actually kind of wanted to talk about it in a thing on the channel, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, very bad. Hugo says Sprite Fright was a good short. There you go. Now I've gotten 2 recommendations for Sprite Fright. So it must be pretty good. But yeah, I'll try to check it out soon. I should add it to the list. I have my good note here with all the recommendations for today. There we go. Oh, that music's way too quiet. I turned it down for the other thing. There we go. Oh, pauses. Okay, that's nice. That's pretty nice. Hold on. Bot is back, or maybe it's a different bot. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get rid of these. Maybe this is a good time to ask. Anybody want to be a mod? I don't think we really need it at this point. But yeah, we really need to. I think I successfully banished the bot. But once again, thanks to all the support out there and getting this stream big enough to attract bots. It really is a step up for us. Samuel 3D says, if it was written by a studio, I'd hold it to a higher standard, but for a technically amateur project, it's 9 out of 10. I wasn't looking at pinball, sorry. Do you ever think you'd get into videos about marketing as part of media artifacts? It's an interesting question. Please elaborate on your usage of media artifacts, because I want to be sure exactly what you're referring to before I go off on some big sort of tangent there. But in general, whether I want to just make videos about marketing, I do. I kind of have a couple times, really just once where I really focused on it. But I do think it's an interesting angle, a way of looking at different media or just, corporate PR in general. There's certainly a lot to talk about there. And of course, that was kind of the inspiration for the little Amazon bit in the Inside Out video, was just because you really get flooded with certain ads on YouTube, and they're, some are based on your search history and stuff and your interests, and then other ones are just for everybody everywhere if you're paying a lot of money to show it to people. And clearly Amazon is paying a whole lot, probably many millions of dollars, to show basically, propaganda ads for the company almost constantly. I think it's been like a couple weeks at this point where I watch a lot of YouTube. I've talked about it before, so it's kind of on me that I've been exposed to so many of those ads. But like, it has been many dozens of times that I've seen the exact same ones where Amazon's. And of course, when anybody sits down to think about that kind of advertising or that kind of marketing, like, the fact that they need to say that stuff at all is such a terrible sign. Like, it's such a bad sign for the state of a company's PR. It means that it's already in the toilet, and I think it would even be argued by a few marketing professionals, maybe more than a few, that one of the worst things you can do in the face of like a big controversy is to directly address it in your marketing. Like, you might be fighting a losing battle there, because sure, some people will take the bait and all that kind of stuff, but the fact that you keep bringing it up and that it's constantly on everyone's minds is probably a bad move in the long run. But anyway, no, I do think marketing of different kinds is very interesting, especially online. Targeted advertising and stuff, and algorithm-based, ads and stuff like that. Very interesting stuff. I can't really say that I have any expertise on that stuff, because I have technically worked in marketing for a number of years, but I'm not necessarily someone who's like coming up with ad campaigns, and like trying to talk to influencers to get them to promote a product. That's like, I'm not doing that kind of marketing. So I don't really know what I'm talking about there, but I don't think that would stop me from talking about it. From talking about marketing just on the personal level, right? The kind of inductive side of like, well, this has been my experience with it, so maybe other people have shared that experience in some way, making those comments a little bit more valuable or something like that. Anyway, let's see. Hugo says, you are right. If it was a Blender Studio short, it does foreshadow a lot, but it's still very good. Hugo says media artifacts like a CAT scan. Something like that. Have you guys ever had a CAT scan? I've had a couple CAT scans. Actually, quite a few. They're not great. Especially when they have you drink that like glowy liquid so they can see your insides better. That's not the most fun that a CAT scan can be. Some of them are much faster. Also, they expose you to radiation, so it's not like the healthiest hobby out there. Woodworking is a good one. Pinball is a good hobby if you're not buying physical machines. I kind of grew up with pinball. I mean, obviously the computer games and stuff. But when I was real little, my grandparents, some of my grandparents had a physical pinball machine from like, I would say like late 50s, maybe very early 1960s. It was like pinball themed, not pinball themed. Pinball themed pinball, I would be totally down for if it's just like all bumpers and nothing else. I have to see if that exists. It was football themed pinball from the 50s, probably. And it was great. The more points you got, it would like move this little football icon up the field, and you could get touchdowns, which give you huge bonuses and stuff. But yeah, when we would go for visits, I would want to get to the pinball machine very quickly, and it was just so much fun. Even though it like broke all the time, they're such complicated machines that it's kind of intimidating, and fixing them is very complex, but really cool. I had so much fun with it, but it definitely created some really positive early associations for me with pinball. So I really like it, and I have another pinball game here that I'll probably get into in a second, but this is definitely one of my absolute favorites. Oh, yeah, maybe this will be the last game on this one, and I can move on because I found this other pinball game just the other day, and I love it so much. I've already put in like 3 or 4 hours, and it's just perfect. Oh, I really love it. Okay, ball, just let me lose, and I can move on with my evening. Oh, there we go. What else got here? Hugo says, sorry, it was a Q cat, but it's my bad that I remembered it as a cat scan. Oh, I see. Don't worry about it. I like talking about cat scans. It's A-okay. I really shouldn't do both flippers at once. That's a very bad habit in pinball, I think. There's probably like a bunch of complex pinball terminology, right? I want to know all of it. Is there a dictionary, a pinball dictionary, perhaps? Oh, not red? No? No. Okay, that's fine. Samuel 3D says, well, media artifact, as far as I know, tell me if I'm wrong, is a way to describe media in any form it can take. So if I did an essay about Lilo and Stitch, I'd include those crossover trailers. I see. So basically any ancillary material that is still directly related to the media in question. So, for example, a movie's trailers and TV commercials and promotional materials as an extension of the work itself. Okay, thank you for that definition. Yeah, I think I've heard it used slightly differently in the past, but it certainly applies here, so I'm on board. But the answer to the original question would definitely be yes. I'm happy to talk about film marketing, even though, like I said, I don't have a ton of experience or expertise in how that stuff is actually executed or major trends in the area or what the marketing people are actually like, even though I have a general idea of what marketing professionals are like. But no, I do think it's very interesting, and especially with Disney, like you mentioned Lilo and Stitch. Another one I can think of from around the same time is Tarzan, where so they had the Disney Channel, right? And of course it was still VHS tapes at the time for home video, so like and early DVD, I suppose. But certainly back then, for those movies specifically, I have very strong memories of the ancillary stuff, the marketing for those movies, commercials, or like, I don't know if Disney Channel still does this kind of stuff, but maybe you'll remember when they would do like little promos during commercial breaks, right? So they would just have like a 30-second or 1-minute spot where some like kid presenter, some kid trying to get into acting, goes to talk to the animators, or, you know, does a really light interview with the director or something like that. And there was one for Tarzan where this little kid talked to Phil Collins, because of course Phil Collins does the music. No, it's for Brother Bear. Yes, because he also did the music for that one, or at least a couple songs. But yeah, I think that the marketing for those movies at the time, they were very much of their time. Whereas the movies themselves feel a little bit closer to timeless, the marketing absolutely does not. Or if you see old VHS, trailers for The Lion King or Aladdin, or one of my favorites was the one for James and the Giant Peach, they feel so dated. I mean, aside from the fact that they're just on cassette tape, just the voiceover, you have the deep guy doing the voice who is like, for a limited time, it's going back in the Disney vault, and they just used that one guy, I guess, for every single trailer they ever did. It was a whole thing, but no, I do think it's a very interesting angle for looking at any piece of media, and it certainly gives you a lot more clues as to what the companies behind that property think of the property. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if there's some awful kiddie condescending commercial or trailer for like a animated movie, you know that they think the target audience, if not the entire audience, is just going to be kids, and very little kids who probably aren't going to stand everything from the get-go. Or if it seems like they're not putting a lot of effort into the marketing, they're probably not that confident in it, and they're probably not spending a lot of money on the marketing for that movie because they just see it as a lost cause. And that is exactly why I am extremely excited to see how they market the Mario movie. The infamous Nintendo Illumination collaboration machine. I cannot wait to see the first trailer for that movie. I want to see TV commercials. I want to see what the cardboard stand-ups look like. I can't wait, because that will tell us exactly what Illumination thinks. It'll tell us whether or not Nintendo has had a lot of involvement with the marketing and how the movie's being presented. I don't get the sense that they have so far, or that they don't care or know what they're doing or something. That it feels incredibly out of touch. Sorry, rambling. But anyway, to Samuel's comments there about media artifacts and marketing. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And it would certainly work really well in certain situations, basically. Anyway, Hugo has some stuff to say. Hugo says that computed tomography, or CT scan, the QCAT is the CAT scans is what he just said, and then the QCAT is a device that plugs into the PC. It uses the old mouse port, and it was scan barcodes, and would take you to a website. It was pre-QR code. Okay, that sounds like something that LGR would have covered at some point, but I was not familiar with the QCAT. I do remember the toys where you would scan like barcodes wherever you could find them, and it would give you something on like a kind of Tamagotchi device. Actually, I might just order a Tamagotchi. Tamagotchi, not Tamagotchi. Isn't Tamagotchi Life was that Nintendo game, right? I had a Digimon Tamagotchi growing up, and I want it again, even though the old ones are very expensive, so you have to get like a cheap one. Sorry, I'm now looking for nostalgia stuff to buy. Virtual Pet Monster. Yeah, the originals are like $100. Yellow, that's the one I had. Sorry, I got very excited. I'm $13. Oh, I'm doing it. I'm doing it for sure. Wow. That is exciting. I shouldn't be doing online shopping right now. Hugo also says, but Samuel, are you talking about what Jordan Fringe would talk about? Jordan Fringe, YouTube stuff, talks about lots of old shows. Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with that guy, but maybe Samuel will fill us in on that. Samuel says, or maybe 3D. 3D is faster to say, so maybe I'll say that. I'm totally fascinated by how Disney is taking over the world. And smiling, there's so much to say about that. I can't put it into words. Samuel says, I'm not sure. Let me Google what Gordon Fringe would talk about. Oh, okay, so we'll get that figured out. But either way, Hugo, thanks for mentioning that. I'm not familiar with that person. But it does sound like interesting stuff, so that's pretty cool. And this other comment, yeah, fascinated with Disney taking over the world with a smile on their face, we could say. It's kind of a fake smile. It is a bit of a disingenuous smile, I think, but it's true. But it's oh, why is that happening? Uh-oh, sorry. There we go. Got some more pinball here. Oh, wait. I have to do a weird arrangement to play this. Oh, no. Why is it running so fast? Sorry, if it wasn't obvious, I'm emulating this. What is it? What is it doing? Hold on. Let me get this worked out. Because I do want to play this pinball game. Okay, so I wanted to say that the topic of Disney and their massive media influence and acquisitions over the last, what is it? It's been like 15 years, well, longer, because they bought Pixar. They've been buying up stuff for a long time. This is clearly a long game that they're playing, although it does seem very, what do we say, deliberate now. It does seem extremely aggressive at this point, I guess. But the issue with that and some other, what do we say, with some other very big topics that are very important topics, is that I think it's very difficult to get into that subject matter without people immediately dismissing it. Do you know what I mean? Another one that I want to talk about soon is like, our relationship with social media and technology and stuff, where it's something like, as soon as you bring it up, people just kind of groan because like we've heard so much about it, and a lot of the discussion doesn't necessarily seem to go anywhere. And so you just end up with just nonsense, just kind of useless discussion, basically. So I think it's difficult to do that well, or to present your commentary on a huge subject like that in a way where people will actually pay attention and give it some credit and listen and try to engage with it. Do you know what I mean? There's just a bias. I think a lot of people, probably myself included, have a bias to that subject matter in general in terms of larger discussion, especially online. Like, there would definitely be arguing about it, I think, to a certain extent. And it's very easy to cast Disney as like this big giant evil corporation, and like I'm not saying they're not, because they probably are, and they're probably doing some really awful stuff that we don't know about, that we might not ever find out about. I'm not making any claims, obviously. That would be slander, I think. But the fact of the matter is, it is important to talk about. Like, yeah, it is kind of uncomfortable, and it is cliche and kind of a tired topic. But that can be a way where things get worse. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just get desensitized to something like that. Like, I do think it's getting to a point where just the sheer amount of influence and the sheer number of giant recognizable properties and studios that they own at this point, it is kind of heading into like antitrust law territory, I feel. It is very fascinating. I mean, I agree with your comment for sure, 3D, but I just think it's a tough beast to tackle, especially when, I mean, it makes sense because they have all the money in the world, but like they produce good stuff sometimes. Sometimes they really do it well. First season of Mandalorian was pretty good, you know. Some of the Marvel stuff is pretty good in my eyes. I'm not really a fan, but other I mean, people like Gravity Falls, you know, there's other stuff that they're doing. They're keeping up with the culture while still adhering to this very squeaky clean brand and its very broad appeal to all their properties. So then you'll probably end up with people going like, well, why are you, hey, I just want to enjoy this, you know, like I just want to have fun watching this stuff. And if it is genuinely good, what can you say? You know, like, yeah, it's good, but hey, we need to worry about some stuff. I don't think people like to really hear about that, you know? And I get it. I understand why they don't, but yeah, it's tricky. I guess is what I'm saying. But yeah, that's that. Let me look something up real quick. Sorry, I gotta do some research on this. I'm looking up. Running too fast. Make sure that it's checked on. Oh, that worked out. Put trash in the trash can, says the man outside. I support that policy. Let me put this here. I love this pinball game so much. Okay. Hugo says, Samuel, that reminds me of the ERB of Jim Henson versus Stan Lee. That verse at the end of that is from Disney himself. Oh, interesting. 3D says, after 15 minutes, I'm unsure if I agree with Jordan Fringe or not. Hugo says, the shows are okay, but they don't make money on those. They make the money on the parks. Yes. That's like, what is it? Nearly half of their total revenue worldwide. Something like that. It's just a massive percentage of their entire business comes from the parks. All the parks around the world. It's insane how much money those parks make, and they just keep raising the prices, and people are cool with it. I guess people keep getting tickets out here. People get the season passes for Disneyland. I'm sure it's some kind of deal, but I just couldn't see myself going to Disneyland like more than once a year. I've barely been to any Disney parks at all. But yeah, that's a good point, Hugo. That's where they make a lot of stuff. But yes, the media influence thing, and that's a big part of why they're acquiring a lot of those properties too, is because they want to be able to have them in the parks. They want Star Wars Land. They want the Avatar thing for some reason. They want Marvel because now they're going to put Marvel stuff in the parks. It is a long-term strategy. It's not necessarily bad or evil or anything, but yeah, just the sheer amount of stuff that they own has certainly become concerning on its own. Is what I'll say there. But yeah. I did a bad job there. 3D says, this seems like a stretch, but Disney adults and climate change are not disconnected by my water filter. Also says, I miss ERB. Hugo says 2018. In 2018, they made over $20 billion on that year's. The movie Endgame was only $2 billion total, which is interesting. But yeah, parks is everything. That's everything for them. That is what they will continue to focus on in a big way. But a big part of the reason those parks are successful is because of the actual stuff, right? It's because of the source material. It's because of the shows. And it's because of the movies. And this massive, bad game, massive, almost 100-year backlog of stuff. That's the basis for all of it. And the success of the parks would not be possible without that giant legacy of entertainment. That's just beloved, and also the stuff that they don't want to talk about anymore, so they'll really go out of their way to not talk about it. Whoa. I should put on the sound for the game a little bit, because the game does have very good sound. But yeah, this is a pinball game from HAL Laboratories, who, of course, was Satoru Iwata was part of HAL in the early days. That's how he got to work for Nintendo, eventually becoming the president of Nintendo. Messed up that bonus stage completely. And of course, HAL makes did make the Smash Brothers games for a long time. But yeah, this was a little Game Boy game they made back in the day. And I found it recently, and I love it to pieces. It's really fun. It's really good. It's pretty challenging too, but I've been having a great time with it. I never had Pokemon Pinball. I should get that. Legitimately, I'll buy a copy for like $250. As to Disney adults and climate change being linked, it's certainly that would be a good premise to throw out on the internet, even just as a joke. I think that would be kind of funny. But yeah, there's been like kind of some significant backlash to Disney adults within the last year or two. I've seen at least 3 different video essays coming out trying to explain Disney adults, and they seem to be pretty critical of Disney adults. So okay, there's some disdain there. I don't know if it's just like blind fandom people are against or something, and maybe that's an unfair categorization. I don't have much information on Disney adults other than like some people I know who still are super into Disney stuff. But yeah, 3D says it's the way that they so intentionally get their stink on people in childhood, and then people want to go to Disneyland. That gets me so bad. Oh, sure. I mean, because here's the thing. Especially when it comes to media and video games, as we're learning, which, different medium, but whatever. It's still legal to just outright manipulate children and basically take advantage of children, and the fact that they get very passionate about things and maybe aren't so scrutinous. Is that a word? They're not sticklers for quality all the time. And if they like something, if they've been told to like something, either explicitly or implicitly at some point, there's a pretty good chance they will. And if their friends are into it, so like Disney, yes, absolutely, I agree with what you're saying there. 3D of just like, yeah, it gets ingrained, right? We're taught, we're kind of taught to really love the Disney stuff, and some of it's very good. So like, it's much easier for kids to get into something if it is very good, and if it is funny and you like to watch it a million times. I watched The Lion King roughly 400 times growing up. It's just repeat viewings constantly. But yeah, now as we're seeing, it's still completely legal to do a similar thing with video games and monetization there, right? Or like, sorry, there really aren't any laws that will technically protect kids from the potential dangers of spending real-world money on useless video game stuff at terrible odds. So it's prevalent, and yeah, you can just do it. I mean, you can do the same thing with snack foods, right? Like, just get kids hooked on a ton of sugar. They will want more sugar, and they'll probably buy yours, especially if they form a nostalgic connection with your sugar product. And again, like, once you start talking about this stuff, it can easily sound like the old grizzled hippie who's just been singing the same tune for like 60 years now, and no one listens to him anymore. But like, yes, it is a real thing. It is kind of a worrying thing that you really can just manipulate kids, whatever. Teach kids to like a thing. They'll keep buying it forever. A good example is the Digimon thing. I'm literally putting in my shopping cart right now the Tamagotchi, because it's such a strong connection. Even though it's really not that much fun, it's okay, but like the memories and the positive associations there are so incredibly positive. So they resonate with childhood wonder, that it's just automatic. It feels just like a physical reflex, as opposed to a conscious thought. Like, yeah, I want to be able to look at that sitting around. I've got some nostalgia stuff that I've gotten on eBay. I got some Bionicles around. This morning I bought Legos at the grocery store. They had a Lego sale at the grocery store, and I said, why not? Why not indulge in something that I really liked as a kid? And I still like it now, to be fair. But yeah, but Disney definitely leans into that stuff pretty darn hard. They know, and they know it. Yeah, it's not a super innocent thing at all. But it is a little bit concerning, and I do think there are times when they kind of cross a line, and it's a little bit irresponsible and maybe potentially illegal, or it should be illegal or whatever. But yeah, I can easily kind of rant about that, which is maybe not the best source of entertainment. Hugo says Pokemon Pinball is $250. Oh, I don't know. I was making a joke because retro games are, spiked and maybe artificially inflated. But I'll look. But no, I'm not gonna buy a legitimate copy of Pokemon Pinball. I will probably find a file online. $25,000. Do you want a brand new sealed copy of Pokemon Pinball? That will be $25,000, please. Here's a sealed copy for $1,000. Here's a sealed copy for $10,000, $5,000, and then meanwhile, if you just want the cartridge, $17. $20, $17, $10 for this one. It has the rumble pack, so you need to put a battery in it too. But no, I'm just gonna find a ROM. I mean, you don't have proof that I'm gonna find a ROM of this thing, but I am going to find a ROM of it. So please don't tell the cops. I was disappointed to see that Pokemon Pinball was not on the Virtual Console on the 3DS, because I have a 3DS. And there was also one specifically for Ruby and Sapphire. Oh. Huh. You got screenshots? No? Okay, that's fine. Oh, one was Pinball, and then the other one was on the Game Boy, original Game Boy, and then the next one was on Game Boy Color. 3D says advertising is psychological warfare. Stay woke. See, but this is the thing, right? This is a really tricky part of talking about some serious stuff like that. It's like, yeah, we know there are real problems there, but if you try to get into them, people are not gonna let's give you the time of day. And I kind of get it. I don't have my display capture on, right? Nah, I don't have my display capture on. Should be fine. Let me get this one now. Extract files. I'll go to this folder and hit this. Okay, and now I do this. Let me kill the music because I want to try to use the music that's actually in the game. Here we are. Open. Do I get sound from this? Let's find out. We have to turn on the sound. Don't worry about this at all. Ooh, kind of loud. Oh, I know I stopped this. Okay. I should have just lined up like 8 different pinball games to play. What else we got going on in the chat? Hugo says Pokemon Red version Nintendo Game Boy game authentic with new save battery is $92.29. Yep. Silver and Gold are also very expensive. And the remakes of Silver and Gold are very expensive in physical editions. Hugo says, I have the Ruby pinball somewhere. Okay, well, now I have it too. Hugo says, my red version battery is dead. And if it works, you think I could sell it for 90? Maybe. If you have, like, especially if you have the box, I think you could definitely charge at least $50 for it, I think. Game start. Let's figure out the controls here. That was not correct, apparently. Oh. Uh-oh. What if I want to play the game? Game start. Oh, this is very loud in my headphones. Let me turn this down. Wait, what's my other button? Whoa, hold on. Oh, that's not so bad. Whoa, this is crazy. This one wasn't. Oh, this one was not in color. I just found out. It's a Pokeball. Oh, the lag is a little bad. Sorry. But yeah, I do need to replace the battery in some of my Game Boy games, my Game Boy Color games that I recently got back. They basically all need new batteries. Because, yeah, I think I would play through, like, Gold again, Gold version on legitimate hardware. That could be fun. You lose a lot of time playing those games, but they are fun. They're just, especially with the nostalgia factor that we were just talking about so much. I like that the ball is so large. There's a pool quote. Oh, little Diglet's there. Yeah, there is some. Wait, why does that flipper not work sometimes? Oh, I think I'm supposed to be using a specific like directional arrow on the D-pad for the right bumper. Oh, look, we got a nice score there. Uh-oh. Wait, the right bumper just doesn't work sometimes? What? What's that about? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ah! It's not working very well. Okay. What else we got? Hugo says, my red version batteries. Oh, we read that already. 3D says, which was everyone's first Pokemon? Mine was red version. I had red version on the Game Boy Color. I got the Game Boy Color, and then along with it came red version from my uncle, actually. And I was so excited. I was very, very excited about that. Do you just use one button for both flippers? That's stupid. What is that? No, it can't be. Oh, I see. I had to do this on the last game too. I have to like flip my hands around to play it where it makes sense. But yeah, anyway, red version was my first one. What was everybody else's first Pokemon game? If you've played one at all. Oh, what's happening? Are the electrodes gonna blow up? That's the electrode, right? What was the first stage of Electrode? I don't remember. This is pretty good. This is another pretty good pinball game. All right. Whoa, I love when it goes around the bend there. It is a little bit laggy, but I think we can handle it. Sorry, I think I'm missing a bunch of chats. My map move failed. What does that mean? What is that? Is that a Ditto up there? There's just like a Ditto hanging out on the side. It is kind of crazy to think that this was like, you know, modern. It was contemporary at the time that the first games came out. Oh, this is great. I love this. Oh no, we're getting that bot again. Somebody get the bot. Nah, I should do that. It's my job. I'll let it go. Oh, like first Pokemon that they actually caught? Was that the question? Well, because my starter was Charmander. So, Hugo says red, but I really like yellow way more. I never had yellow, but I went to silver then for Gen 2, and silver's probably my favorite. Hugo's the gold and silver were the last games that I played. Yeah, me too. Football Lover says ditto, either for the Pokemon or to say ditto to what someone else said in the chat. Hugo says, I was a harsh kid. I don't have the box anymore. Yeah, I didn't keep the box to any of my, what do you call it? Any of my games. The Game Boy games, they're just completely gone. They're absolutely gone. Which makes sense. No one held on to boxes. Like, you know, what is that? 3D says, I was a late bloomer because my parents thought that DS's made people into school shooters. I didn't play it until X and Y. My first Pokemon I was into was Chandelure. Oh, that was after my time. Was that Gen 3 or 4, maybe? I played a little taste of, what do you call it? A little taste of Y, I think it was. But, yeah, that's that. Oh, let's try blue this time. I'm sure it's... Oh, this music. Let me turn that up. No? All right. That's fun. Oh, we got Shelders on this one. I always loved Shelder. And I think Cloyster was the evolution, right? Second stage. But Shelder's cuter, so you just keep the Shelder forever, you know? That's enough of this one. Let's try the other one. Give me just a second. Open this one. And we do this. Uh-oh. Got to resize. Hang on. And we do... Nope. We do this. Okay. Let's go. I hope it's the same controls, because that's what I'm used to. Hugo says, but I don't think I'll be able to replay the games. I was able to get it on PC, and without the fast forward that comes with it, I would not be able to play it. I completely, well, I basically agree. I have definitely felt that way about it in the past. Ruby, please. Oh. Oh, no fast? Okay. But yes, they are, the pacing is incredibly slow, especially compared to modern standards. So it's tricky. You gotta you gotta be ready to really spend some time looking at the same dialogue over and over. Like the moves will take so long, or just walking around, or like the random encounters in the grass and the caves and everything. It's so much, and it's really nice to have the fast forward on emulators. Not that I use emulators, of course not. Oh, I like this. I like this table. Oh, look, we have our dots, like Space Cadet. I guess that's just like a pinball thing. I wasn't familiar with it. Outside of Space Cadet, anyway. Oh, what's that mean? They got the shark guy, Sharknado man. But yeah, in terms of specific Pokemon that I really liked, I like that guy too, the electric guy. What's his name? Busby. Oh, he's gone. The whales are there. Obviously, the Charmander and his evolutions that was a big deal. I was way into him, especially because the Charmander episode of the anime was so nice. It's so heartbreaking. Really like that one. What else? I like some Gen 2 stuff for sure. Like Skarmory is really cool. Ariadnos, I think, is one of the spider guys. Oh, look, they're playing basketball. Okay, cool. Wow, I like this one a lot more. It certainly feels more kind of fast and zippy. A little bit more modern for obvious reasons. And I like the legendary dogs a lot. We got Suicune, or however it's said, and Entei, and then the other one that everyone forgets about, Thunder Lotus. Maybe. This is great. I'll probably play this on my off time too. coming up on 8 o'clock. I'll probably end somewhat soon. Yeah. Gotta get into Skyrim again, Whoop. Whoa. Boom. Oh, the sound is nice. The music is very nice. .3D says, I was far too old for Pokemon. Oh, at the time. I was like 16 with fresh out of the box 3DS. I mean, I guess arguably too old for Pokemon. I definitely knew people who were playing very like aggressively, actively playing the new Pokemon games in like late high school for sure. But at that point, there was definitely a thing of like the stigma was lessened, you know, of video games in general, or just of like older teenagers and adults playing the games, or any games. It was okay, I think, at that point. So it made sense to me that they didn't feel self-conscious about that. But yeah, you start 16, whatever, you know. I mean, I'm playing a Pokemon pinball game right now, and I am not 16 years old. I am more than 16 years old, actually. So, you know, it's no problem. But yeah, I think people liked X and Y, right? I heard they were like on the easier side, even for Pokemon. But I didn't finish them, so. And then I had like the friends, right? You had like a friend group following you around for some reason. Hugo says that charges Pikachu. Oh, and then he can shoot the ball back into play. Oh, so I need to hit Pikachu or something a lot, I guess. Something like that. That's our plan. It's our strategy for this one. Pika Saver. There it is. Hugo says, Samuel, I was 46 years when I got my game. Age is just a number. There you go. 3D. Wow, I assumed you were much younger. Do you moisturize? I mean, that's true, Hugo. Your avatar there is really radiant. So I'm not surprised that, you know, people are, you know, shocked to hear 46. I like this. I love the colors. It's just fun. There's a Cyndaquil, which is also one of my favorites. The sound is kind of getting mangled, but it's all right. Oh, love that. I don't know what this timer is doing. Catch 'em mode. Oh, does this mean I catch any Pokemon that I hit? But I hit him and I didn't catch him. I want to catch, but oh, well, it's that guy. Quickly. Sorry, I'm gonna scratch my lip on the microphone, so it might sound kind of weird. I think that's fine. It's good audio here, very professional. But yeah, I'll probably wrap it up soon, just so everybody knows. And yeah, I got some other plans, kind of. So I'm gonna do that. Maybe some coffee. Yeah, I had the day off. Maybe I'll stay up late, play some games, have fun. You know, depressurize a little bit, something like that. Hugo says awkwardzombie.com did a comic about this called The Pokemon Effect. Oh, like in relation to the age thing? Or is it just like the nostalgia of Pokemon, or like how slow it is? I'll have to take a look if the site's still up. I don't know who this pig guy is who's like the spring. I don't know what that's about. I did not play the Gen 3 games, so it is unfamiliar to me. Uh-oh. Whoa. Oh. So it's Tentacool and then Tentacruel, right? Oh, look. Oh, he caught him? Oh, how exciting. Wow, seeing that ball, you know, and you're waiting to catch him. That's great. I love that. This is a pretty good game. Get those guys. I like that guy. Sparky Man. Sudowoo. No, Sudowoodo is that other one. There we go. Oh, okay. I guess I don't catch that guy. Oh, I was not paying attention. Not paying attention to that one. This is a fun game, and I want to get it on an actual Game Boy now. Also, well, maybe Hugo had a Game Boy Color. I don't know. I know 3D mentioned DS, and I think 3DS, right? Yeah, 3DS specifically. But yeah, I only ever had the Game Boy Color, and then just like a year ago, I caught another one, maybe. Oh, look, it's the Chikorita one. What is that? The Chiquita banana Pokemon? Skitty! I don't know Skitty, but I'm glad we caught him. Possession is everything. Okay. Oh. 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 I don't know that guy's name. What is it? I'm gonna look it up and I'll just be like, of course. One of my favorites. Aerodactyl. Of course it's Aerodactyl. I knew that. Oh, and Kabuto and Kabutops. Oh, those guys. The fossil guys. Omastar, right? Wow, I'm really digging through the memories now. But I do hate where the series has gone, to be clear. Just to be clear, I think it's one of the lowest effort contemporary video game franchises. just to put that out there. Oh, boom. Oh, I don't know this little weasel guy over here. I don't know what he's about. Do they have Ape Escape anywhere? I want to try out Ape Escape. I've never played it, but it looks fun. I think that was like a Sony thing, right? So it's probably an exclusive. Still. Oh, do I have to stop it? Oh, gambling. Pika. What does that mean? Is that just them saying hi? Oh, we get a Pichu. Cool. Pichu, like from Maya and the Three. Wow, I immediately blew it. That was my first ball, right? That's pretty good. Oh no, this is my last one. Okay. What does that mean that the cave is glowing? What? The Cyndaquil's gonna explode or something? I don't think that's in the lore. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Samuel says Pokemon video on the cards. I did a Pokemon video once. I did that. It was like my, not predictions exactly, but like what I would want to see in Arceus, Legends Arceus, because I think the premise, the setup for the game is so interesting, and it's such a great opportunity for the series to go somewhere kind of new. It's not. it's not going to be all that great. But anyway, yeah, I did that one, and I thought, who knows? There's a huge fandom for these games, obviously, so maybe it'll just get a bunch of views. Maybe it'll be great. Oh. No, not Jay. Oh, we got a heart. I will use the heart. This is something I like to do. I like to pretend that the cat's been playing games while I wasn't looking. So the cat has all my high scores and stuff. Hugo says, Samuel, no, I just lie about my age and people think I am a lot healthier than I am. You should try it and just add 11 years to your age and everyone will be amazed. This sounds like really good advice. Yeah. Ooh. It's a completely different table. I'll finish. Okay, I'll play this game and then I'll be done with the stream. But this has been pretty fun. Lugia, of course. I loved Lugia. Ho-Oh, I was never a big fan of. That's a whale tar. That's a fun game, too, to just make up Pokemon names for actual Pokemon. Like what? Anyway, so yeah, I made that Pokemon video, and I was like, oh, there's a big enough fan base. Maybe this will catch on. And if people like it, maybe I'll make more videos about Pokemon stuff. It could be kind of fun. I wouldn't want that to become like the whole channel, for sure, but I thought it'd be neat. But yeah, people hated that video. It got a few views, but like people were not. The like-dislike on that one was not very good, as far as I remember. So apparently I just don't have a good understanding of that fan base and what they like and don't like. I stand by my ideas completely. I think they're really good ideas, and some of them are in the game, by the way. I ended up being right about some of the features and sort of progression elements that they're putting into Legends Arceus. But whatever. Whatever. I don't think the fandom has accepted me, despite me being, you know, I'm a longtime fan. I know my stuff. Oh, so we get a catch. Oh, look. Got an Electrode. Hey. Maybe. Do they ever not catch? Whoa. Voltorb, sorry. And then I think Electrode is the evolution. This is wonderful. Maybe I'll just play this tonight. Nah, I can't. But yeah, I do want this on handheld, so maybe I'll look around for a copy. Digimon and a Digimon Tamagotchi and Pokemon Pinball Ruby Sapphire is apparently what I'm gonna just impulse buy this evening. Not doing so great. But I do like that it seems to be pretty easy to get ball saves, because then you can just kind of go. You can just kind of jam. Oh wait, but if I don't have an advance, so I couldn't play this, right? I don't think that, no, the 3DS can't play advanced games. I think the DS could travel, I guess. Who's that? Is that Bowser Jr. from Super Mario Sunshine? Huh. Oh. Anyway, so yeah, I'll finish up this game and say good evening, but yeah. Not quite there yet, because I'm doing okay. Doing okay this round. Oh, so does like the music change for your location, quote unquote, in whatever this game land was called for the Gen 3 stuff? 3D says, start young, right? If I start telling people I'm 35 now, then I'll be blown away when I'm 92. Oh, sure, because you could be 92 like next year if you felt like it. Yeah, and just go for it. Live your dream of telling people incorrect age. I think it's fine. Who does that harm except maybe some people in certain situations? Yeah, don't let me forget about looking for it. Well, but then again, yeah, how much are GBAs going for nowadays? I wouldn't mind having like an actual... The GBA didn't have a backlight, did it? I don't think any of them... Maybe the SP? But the SP was... Game Boy Color? I don't remember. Sorry. But yeah, I assume Game Boy Advances would be kind of expensive now. All right, one ball left. Let's just jam. Let's just do it. Hugo says the fact they think you are so wise and experienced. It's just automatic. As soon as you tell someone you're like 60 plus, I think they're just like, oh, okay. I mean, they start trying to find places to put you to keep you out of the way, but they also give you the benefit of the doubt in the wisdom department, so that can be nice. Evo model. What? Question mark? What? What does that mean? Whoa. I guess GBAs would be pretty sturdy. I feel like a lot of those components hold up pretty well. Certainly the Game Boy Color has held up just fine. obviously the cartridge batteries die, so that's been a thing with the games themselves for Game Boy Color stuff, Game Boy stuff, but still. Boop. Ah, almost. There's the Pelican Man, as he's called. Whoa. 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 Oh. Oh. 3D says, do people think you're wise? I did get a well-traveled vibe. Hugo is well-traveled. Hugo's also well-traveled on the internet, so, you know, it's kind of a multi-layered thing. I definitely lose it now, right? Yeah. Okay. This should be the last ball, then. And that'll be it. Okay, cool. Let's do it. I don't know if this is a good score or not. Pinball scores are so arbitrarily high. Oh, where's that gonna? Left flipper. So how do I get rid of that? Oh, I did before somehow, and then I did an evolution of some kind. Bam, 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 bam. All right. Oh, we hit the switches. Oh, very close. This music's actually really good. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, we did it. Go. Oh. Oh. How many coins do I... Oh. Oh, this music too. What does that mean? Well, I guess I can't buy it. I'm gonna get a 90-second ball saver. That sounds pretty good. Pretty expensive. Very exclusive in this game. Can I go back to the mart? No, it's electrified again. I guess that's their security for some reason. Ah, it's hard to see that. Is there a decent handheld emulator for like GBA stuff or DS stuff potentially? Oh, there we go. Thank you, Pikachu. I would do that. I've seen some decent handheld emulator machines, but I think they go for like, I don't know, 150 bucks or something. So I'm not sure, but I do like handheld gaming, so I like the idea of getting, being able to play these old games on handhelds as opposed to emulating them on a PC or something like that. Get him, get this last Pokemon, and then we can lose. I think my ball save is still going. How do we unveil the picture? How does that work? Oh, there he is! It's like a piranha man. And we're just missing him all over the place. Okay. Hey! Oh, it didn't do anything. I guess I hit him again. Come on. Right into him. Ah! Almost lost it there. Oh! Oh! That's a cool animation, too. Alright, it's Carvanha. There's a Pokemon called Carvanha? Does the internet know about this? Carvanha, my favorite one. Oh my goodness, okay. Alright, maybe I'll look at the chat and that'll make me lose. Hugo says, I read a lot, and that helps you look wiser, but I have not traveled much, but have read a lot about different places. Oh, that's interesting. Reading does help, especially if it like ruins your eyesight. Then you get the glasses. That's a huge boost for wisdom looks, you know, that kind of thing. Travel. I want to travel. Speaking of traveling. Nope. I did this a million times earlier. There we go. That did something. Go in the thing. Go in the vortex. The Sarlacc area. Oh, wow. Oh! I remember now. 3D says top 3 reading recs before the end of the stream. Oh my goodness. Yeah, give us some recommendations, Hugo. Because we're coming up to the end here for sure. Travel, yeah, of course I want to travel to the sea. Oh, we're leaving. We're in Mirkwood Forest now. Yeah, that was my fault completely. Oh, whoops, sorry. Hit the microphone. But that brings us to the end. Let's see if we got a high score. We did. 4th place. We haven't beaten the CPUs yet, but that is fine. Cool. There you go. Awesome. There we go. Cool, but yeah, that's just about it for the stream today. Thanks to everybody for joining. Oh, wow, it's almost been like 2.5 hours. It's been a good while. But yeah, thanks again for coming out, as always. I should be doing one next week as well. I will be doing another stream Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and who knows what we'll be doing on that one. In the meantime, I'll try to get out 1 or 2 videos before that. But I think that's just about everything. If you have any thoughts, anybody who are watching the archive, feel free to comment. Let me know. And yeah, that's just about it. But that is all. I'll see you guys later. And yeah, have a great evening and weekend, I guess. We're right there. Right, heading into it. Goodbye, 3D. Goodbye, Hugo.